My name is Tony and I'm agoraphobic. I've been suffering the condition in various degrees since I was about 16. I'm now 26 and many of those years have been wasted completely housebound.
What is agoraphobia?
It's not the fear of open spaces, that's for sure. Although it does come from the Greek for marketplace, I understand the confusion. No, agoraphobia is much more complex. It's a series of conditions based around anxiety. It's the fear of fear, the fear of the next panic attack. The symptoms are myriad and vary from sufferer to sufferer.
How did the symptoms begin to manifest?
It was very gradual. The intensity of the condition fluctuates, you see. It took perhaps a year or slightly more before it really began to affect my life. Exams, a breakup, my parents splitting up. It was like a series of adverse events were causing more and more turmoil.
How did it affect you in the beginning?
I guess it began with avoidance. Before panic attacks or any real debilitation. Saying no to parties or social gatherings with no real reason other than apprehension. My friendship suffered and we began to drift apart. I tried my best to hide it, the panic simmering just below the surface, the feeling that something bad would happen the moment I was out of my safety zone, but I don't know if I fooled anyone. Certainly not my parents.
Did it affect your relationship with your parents?
I've had varying amounts of support from them over the years, perhaps more from my mother than from my father. I'm still not sure he believes it's a medical condition. At the onset though, they thought I was being bullied at school, and then that I was on drugs, and when it became apparent that nothing of the sort was happening, he told me to keep my chin up and pull myself together.
How did that make you feel?
Embarrassed, ashamed, like I was overreacting to the problems that other kids went through every day. But it was all mixed in with genuine fear. It was like a feedback loop. The more guilty I felt, the more anxious I became, the more guilty I felt and not.
When did it really start to inhibit your daily life?
When I was perhaps 18, perhaps 2 years after the symptoms had began, I had my first panic attack. It was completely out of the blue, and the first time the anxiety physically affected me. I was reading when suddenly short of breath, and then tunnel vision, and then intense and directionless fear. I was physically sick and lost control of my bladder. Needless to say, it was very distressing. Since then I've lived in fear of panic attacks. The embarrassment that comes with them in public is horrific, and I've no real way to know when they'll come. They've been a large part as to why I've spent much of the last 5 years at home.
You okay?
So what treatment have you had over the last few years?
I've been treated with various amounts of success, although even getting my GP to take me seriously has been an issue. Mostly I've been treated with Xanax, though I think this was intended as a short-term solution, as I still had aspirations for higher education at the time of prescription, and I needed something fast-acting and efficient before moving on to something less addictive. In the end, my doctor accepted that they weren't helping. I've been on Xanax ever since.
So only drugs, no behavioural therapies?
No, only drugs. I've been on various waiting lists for all sorts of therapies. Cognitive behavioural therapy mainly, but there are so many people with schizophrenia and psychosis and addictions. Agoraphobia tends not to get the highest priority. There are a few therapists, and lots of people need therapy. There are a few therapists and lots of people need therapy. Conditions with phobia in the name tend not to cause huge amounts of concern.
Do they know you've been mostly
Have I
housebound?
met someone with psychosis? Priorities exist, and I accept that.
Tell us about your wife.
Emily, we met about 2 years ago. You see, agoraphobics such as myself go through good and bad episodes. You can spend months feeling good, feeling a sense of normality in your life before it all comes crashing down again. Well, I met Emily and she was there also. And the 2 years we've been together have been the best since the condition manifested. She's so understanding.
But you're still housebound?
Yes, at the moment. I still have my ups and downs, but since meeting Emily there seem to be more good periods than bad. To be frank, I think this interview has been causing me some serious anxiety. I hadn't wanted to do it, but Emily insisted. She said it would be good for me.
You and Emily have a daughter. How has agoraphobia affected your relationship with her?
We have Amy. I won't lie and say my condition hasn't affected being a father. It's been hard. Emily is the one who works. I'm obviously unable to hold down a steady job, and so I'm at home with Emily most of the time. Emily is the one who works, and I'm obviously unable to hold down a steady job, so I'm at home with Amy most of the time. Even during good periods, I have difficulty leaving the house without Amy, so going to the shops for food or nappies, it makes me feel queasy just thinking about it. But I love the two of them, and we make it work.
You didn't get it.
What's it about?
It's to do with agoraphobia.
Phobias, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like everyone's
The idea
staring
being
at it.
stared at. We want to get like a eye view of what it might look like.
So are people like avoiding eye contact or things like that?
No,
Or
you're thinking that
darkness or agoraphobia is
a lot of people think it's the fear of like a big space, but it's actually the fear of being trapped in a situation.
Anything
like
that
a
will-
social sort of
Oh,
situation.
okay.
They don't
Yeah.
like people looking at them.
Yeah,
They
think everyone's
people-
staring at you
Yeah.
and yeah.
So we're just trying to get a point of view sort of
to
thing.
see why.
Yeah.
I'm just rather the opposite. But
Thank you.